Pick 24 just walked through the door, and the Cleveland Browns didn't blink. Texas A&M wide receiver Concepcion, that's who the Browns took. And within seconds, the internet had already made up its mind. Too small. Not a number one. Maybe a solid 2. And you know what? Those people are already missing the point. Let's slow down and actually think about what just happened here, because this isn't just a draft pick. This is a statement about what the Cleveland Browns believe they're building, and more importantly, who they believe is going to lead it. Shedeur Sanders is the quarterback. That's not speculation anymore. That's the plan. And now the Browns just handed him a weapon, not a headline, not a name brand, a weapon. Someone who creates separation, converts short throws into chunk plays, and stays out of trouble when it's not there. That's the job description for an offense that's trying to survive its first year of a new era. Here's what people keep getting wrong. They want to project Concepcion through the lens of what a number 1 receiver looks like. But that's not the conversation. The conversation is, what does Shedeur Sanders need in year 1? He needs rhythm. He needs a guy who's going to be where he's supposed to be. He needs a safety valve who can make a bad day look functional. Concepcion checks every single one of those boxes. Don't let the television fool you either. The guy looks lean on screen, but when you see him in person, he's got real size on him, close to 5 feet 11 inches, pushing 195 pounds, and he moves. He gets off the line. He separates quickly. He turns catches into yards after contact. That combination matters way more than whatever number you want to slap on his jersey before he's played a single regular season snap. Think Christian Kirk. Think what that type of receiver did for a young quarterback learning a new offense. Consistent production, 700 to 900 yards, someone who earns the trust of his signal caller, and then takes advantage of it when defenses overcommit elsewhere. That's the ceiling here, and that's not a ceiling worth laughing at. Now, let's talk about the situation Shedeur is actually walking into, because this part doesn't get nearly enough credit. Kevin Stefanski's offense never fit him. Not even close. Too rigid. Too predictable. Too slow for a quarterback whose entire game is built on rhythm, timing, and the ability to create when the play breaks down. It wasn't that Shedeur failed the system failed him. And that's not revisionist history, that's just honest. Todd Monken is different. For wide receivers on the field, space to operate, quick decisions, quarterback movement built into the design. That's not just a different offense, that's a completely different life for Shedeur Sanders. His strengths aren't being bent around a structure anymore. The structure is being built around his strengths. When you finally put the right player in the right system, the results tend to surprise people who weren't paying attention. And this is where the Concepcion pick starts to mean something beyond just what he does by himself. Jerry Jeudy took a step back last season. That's not an opinion, that's on tape. Isaiah Bond has speed, but nobody knows what Bond is yet in a full-time role. That leaves a void. That leaves pressure. And into that pressure walks a receiver who could be a consistent, reliable second option every single week. Not a flash-in-the-pan game, not a one-hit wonder every week. That's what stabilizes a young offense. That's what gives a first-year starter the foundation to actually grow. The Browns aren't asking Concepcion to carry the offense. They're asking him to show up. They're asking him to be accountable, to be dependable, and to be the guy who makes the easy throw look explosive when defenders are already sleeping on him. That's the ask. And that is absolutely within his range. Here's the part that really matters, though, the one nobody wants to say out loud. This team's defense doesn't need help. They're set. If this Cleveland Browns offense can put up 17 to 20 points per game consistently, this team wins games. Push it to 21, and they become a genuine problem in this league. That's not a high bar. That's an achievable bar. And adding Concepcion to this offense, in this system, with this quarterback, that bar just got a little easier to clear. Shedeur Sanders does not need perfection around him. He needs consistency. He needs timing. He needs to look across the line of scrimmage and know that at least one person is going to be exactly where he needs them to be. Concepcion is that person. And when that connection clicks, and it will click, the labels people gave this pick at the draft board are going to look embarrassing. The Browns are building something intentional here. 2 offensive pieces in one draft. A system that actually fits the man under center. A fan base that's been starving for a reason to believe. Well, here's your reason. If you want more breakdowns as this thing unfolds, hit like, subscribe to Browns Breakout, and stay locked in, because this offseason is just getting started.